And then just settling. Adjusting those feet a little bit if you want to. Kind of finding that placement. Connecting to your lower dantian and just bringing yourself slightly forwards. So that dantian is towards kidney 1, just slightly towards the front of the feet, excuse me. And just sensing into that downward sensation of chi, that kind of dragging downwards that you all will be familiar with at this point in your practice. Drawing the wrists up. Prayer position. Prayer position. Finding your little bit of power in those index fingers, pushing those wrists forwards, and let those elbows be soft. And just sitting in that Wu Chi. And I want you to take a moment to just notice your tails. Are they tucked under, held tight? Are your bottom cheeks held tight, hanging on? Bring that pelvis into a little bit of a tuck. And then letting it go and come back into a tilt. Low back arch is increasing. And then just coming back to somewhere in between. But if it's heading any direction, it's just slightly towards a tilt. So the tail is pointing towards the back of the heels. And just invite the softness in within the bottom cheeks. Well done. Breath in. And breath out. And come into sit. So what I want us to do is to find a really nice seated and settled Wu Chi. Feet in line with knees, knees in line with hip sockets. Landed in the chair. Just take a moment to just circle. Kind of allowing any extra beautification to create space if it needs to. And then just slowly circling around. And then just quietly landing. Let your hands just come onto your pelvis. And I want you to just very gently just bring your pubic bone forwards through your thighs, scooping towards your belly button, just coming into a little bit of a tuck there. And then on another out breath, I want you to come into a tilt. So the pubic bone heads back towards the back of the chair. Low back arch is going to increase just a little bit. Moving always on the out breath. I just want you to practice that a few more times and use it almost like an assessment. So we're just tucking and tilting. Keep that going if you can. I'm just going to let someone else into the class. So hands on that pelvis. Make sure that you feel landed in the seat bones. And we're just tucking and tilting. And I want you to kind of use this movement as your assessment. We're just kind of going to work indirectly with the pelvis today. And I want us to sense into the ease of movement, the range of movement, and then come back to the Wu Chi that we've done just a moment ago and just see how that feels. So just tilting and tucking. What's the range of movement like? How stable can you be within the other parts of the body? Can they leave the pelvis to do its own thing? And then just finding that neutral. You're just going to land. And let your hands just come down to settle. So we're going to grab that large soft melt ball if we can, staying seated. Is everybody able to get that? And we've all done face melt before, but what I want us to do is just be mindful of how this may affect our pelvis. We're going to do a little neck turn assess as well, so I want us to sense into any changes we may create there. But I really want to focus this class on movement in the pelvis and the quality of the Wu Chi based on working from here upward and how that influences our stance. So we're just going to check in with our range of movement, our neck. So we're going to just slowly turn our head to the left. Notice for any discomfort, range of movement, restriction, popping, clicking. Don't push anything. Notice how far you comfortably see there. And then turning to face forwards. Taking the head to the right. And I want you to again just notice for range of movement, popping, clicking, any discomfort. Sensing into what we have. And then come back, facing forwards. So I know you all will be aware of how light, super light you may want to work with the ball around the head. And remember the pad of the finger here, you might just want to just touch on the eyeball with a closed eyelid. Don't push in, but just see how much you can make contact. Work gently on that eyeball pressure. It doesn't cause pain, so really, really light. So you can work that light when you're working with the ball, doing the face melt as well, particularly at the back of the ear, because it can be really tender there. You're going to be affecting the vagus nerve. There's a nice little martial art kill point somewhere around here, so you do want to be really light if you can. So you'll find with your thumb or your finger just at the back of the ear, just behind here, there's a little dip, a little hole just at the bottom of the ear. I want you to just put the ball there. And this is a shear, so the ball is pinned to the skin. And I want you to just kind of move in a very small, slow, mindful circle, very qigong in attitude. Very gently, not causing any pain. Just 3 or 4 times one way, so you're pinning the skin, affecting the underlying tissue. And then circling back the other way. And then you're going to pause. Breath in and breath out. Let that tissue adapt. And then we're going to come to the jaw, and it's in front of the ear. You want to find what we call the TMJ. And if you pop the pad of your finger just in front of the ear and just open and close your mouth, and you can feel that jaw, the TMJ, moving underneath the finger. So that's where you want the ball. So you're going to pop the ball there again, another shear, so pinning the ball, and you're just going to circle really mindfully, really slowly 3 times. And the other way. You're going to pause. Breath in and breath out. Lovely. And then I want you to just follow around your eyebrow. You literally can go with a ball if you like, around your eyebrow, and then you nearly everyone's going to have a little dip at the side of the ear. And I want you to just circle there. Circle, circle, circle. I hope you're all right, guys. I can see some of you moving around. Okay. Circling back the other way. You're going to pause. Breath in and breath out. And I can already feel, I don't know if you guys can, the kind of change in the fluid flow in the sinuses, and there's lots of yuckiness going around at the moment, which is one of the reasons why I thought it'd be good to do this. Come back to that TMJ in front of the ear, and you're going to do it again. So you can do the direct shear where you're just circling, which is what we did a moment ago. Circling back the other way. Or you can do the indirect shear. So you're just going to pin the ball level of compression that's right for you. Doesn't need to be firm. And just going to open your jaw, and you want it to come slightly forward, so it's the yeah, 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 and then closing, pausing. Behind the ear where we started before, again just a few circles one way, mindfully and slowly. Can stay with the sense of Qigong when we're doing this. And then circling back the other way. You're going to pause. Breath in and breath out. So the other side, back of the ear, let's just circle again. Pinning that skin, circling the other way. You're going to pause. Breath in and breath out. In front of the ear, pinning the ball to the skin, circling. Or you can do the indirect shear. You might want to do a little bit of both. You might choose pausing. Breath in and breath out. Side, so just coming round that brow line, coming into the dip at the side of the eye, and you're going to just circle. Circling back the other way. You're going to pause. Breath in and out. Lovely. Back to the temple. Sorry, back to the jaw. Circle, circle, circle. Indirect. Ah. Comes forward. Yeah. 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 Pausing. Back of the ear. You're going to pause. Breath in and out. And you're going to release. Just going to pop the ball to one side, and we're going to just rinse. So it's the pads of the fingers that you want, and we're going to just come in and down under the chin. You can feel the cheekbone here, and below the cheekbone I like to still do in and down. And then from the cheekbone you just kind of go out to the sides. Yeah. Flick, flick, flick. Around the eyes. Carry on flicking to the forehead. Back round. Flicking underneath the eyes again on that cheekbone. And then you come in and down again. Down the neck. Lovely. And then we work up the midline, and we're just going to be flicking downwards, but we're going to start down low. So we can just flick down, flick down, flick down, flick down. Over the chin, below the nose. With the nose you can go a little bit in if you want to. Flicking down as you go up the forehead to the hairline, and then flick down as we come back down again, following the pathway that we went before. Lovely. And then just bring your hands down. So just take a moment. So coming back into Qigong from the mount practice, just take a sense, just for a moment, can you sense into the tension, the different tensions in your face now? Feels a little bit tighter for me, a little bit firmer. I always think, why don't I do this every day when I do it? Let's have a look at the neck turn. Has that affected the neck turn? I'm not sure. Maybe it has, maybe it hasn't. Slowly turning to the left. Yeah, I actually think I can go a little further, a little smoother. So just observe. Turning, coming back to face me. Hello. And then turning back the other way. Lovely. And then coming back facing forwards. Try and remember whether you noticed any changes at this point or not. We're just going to let our feet plant into the floor. Take a few moments. You can soften the gaze if you want. You can gently close your eyes for a moment. Let's just sense into that midline. Breathing in from the feet, up the legs to the tail. Drawing that breath in all the way to the top of the head. And then as you breathe out, pouring down the midline to the tail, down the legs, to the feet and back into earth. Just a few more breaths, finding that pathway along the midline. Can you free up that tail? Can it be a little softer? Opening your eyes and just letting your arms dangle down. Just little circles in the wrists. Encouraging the flow, the ease of movement around those wrists, the hands just hanging there if they can. Changing direction, back the other way. And then just pausing, sensing the downward hanging of the arms the drawing down of the chi. Bending the elbows up, bending the elbows, hands coming up, elbows heading towards the floor. Let's just circle those elbow joints. It's just a little circle. Sensing into any tensions created in the arms from the movement. Just send the glorious, nourishing chi into the joint to aid the flow, reduce the sediment. Changing directions. And then just bringing the arms down, letting the arms hang again. Just sense into that. I don't know if you can feel that really dense in the hands now, the chi. Really, yeah, really strong. Okay, so we're going to just imagine you've got a little pencil pointing out here, got a little pencil pointing out at the other shoulder, and we're going to just do really small circles. It's like you're drawing a tempi piece with those pencils on each walls on the opposite sides. So I'm going to let my movement be really small so you might not actually see it so well. Circling backwards, up, forwards and down, but in a circular movement. Really mindful. And changing direction. Same thing, but just coming forwards and up and back and down. And then just take a moment. Can you actually, whilst you're focusing on that, just take a little glimpse towards the tail? Is anything happening there? Is it joining in? Can it be a little freer? And then just let the arms just dangle, that movement subside. Slowly turning the head to the left again. But this time you're going to get to the left and you're just going to pause at your comfortable end range. You're going to take your eyes that little bit further around, just a little bit behind you. Let them see how far they can see. Breathing again. Let the eyes come back so they face the same direction as the nose, and then they can come together facing to the front. Turning round to the right. Pausing at that comfortable end range. Just breathing. Then take your eyes that little bit further again. How far can the eyes go? And waiting. Bring the eyes to face in the same direction as the nose. Coming back, facing forwards, over to the left again. Head turning as far as it will comfortably go. Just breathe there a moment. Then take the eyes further. And resting there. Eyes come back. Eyes and nose move together around to the right side again. Mindfully, slowly, being present and conscious of your movement. At the end, just pausing before taking your eyes that little bit further. And let the eyes come back again, meeting the nose. Last time to the left. We know in Qigong we love our threes. Round to that left there. Taking the eyes further. And just pausing. Bringing yourself back in the way we've done before. Over to that right side for the last time. Eyes to that furthest range. Can they see further round now? And then coming back. Facing me. My throat's gone funny. Interesting. Drawing the wrists up. Prayer position at the top. Drawing the hands down through that midline. As you come lower, just see if you can find that freedom in the tail. So like as you release the hands, the tail lets go. Breath in. And breath out. So almost feel like the wrists are pushing that flow down that midline channel and then inviting the freedom of movement of the tail as you get lower. Just 3 more, including the one we're doing. Take your mind to the tail. No, if your arms can't go really high, then you can just imagine the arms going over the head. You don't have to take it physically that high. And we're going to come up with the arms again, and this time we're going to interlink our fingers and just let our head relax into the palms of the hands, so the bump at the back of the head. Now if holding your arms up like this is too tricky, we're going to just come down like this. So do what feels right, but you haven't got the protection of the neck with that one, so just be really mindful of keeping the neck strong and supporting of itself. So we're just going to lift just a little bit, lift our chin, looking up, feeling the extension of the neck at the front and the back. Don't let the neck crumple at the back. Bring in there, chin down, just facing forwards. We're just going to slowly take that elbow to the left. So you're twisting at the torso. And then raising that left elbow, dropping the right one, and just pausing into the left side of the rib cage. Breathing in there. Coming up. facing forwards. Right elbow goes back, twisting in the torso, and then raising the right elbow, dropping the left, and opening up the right side of the rib cage. Do you guys remember this one? Yeah? It's been a long time. We're going to come to upright, and then we're going to face forwards. Lifting that chin and that head up again. And I want you to bring the chin towards the chest. Don't push down with the hands. The temptation, if they're at the back of your head, is to do so. But just feel that opening at the back of the body. And this is a place within the form I always like to pause. Don't cause pain. Release the hands, cupping the chin, bringing the elbows up towards the ceiling, lifting the head. Notice those elbows come forwards. And then lowering the elbows down, releasing the hands, coming up, interlinking the fingers if you can, or putting them in the chest at the front if you need to, turning to the left, twisting in the torso, raising that left elbow, dropping the right one, breathing into that left side of the rib cage. Coming back up to upright, facing forwards, twisting round to the right. Elbow up to the ceiling on the right, left elbow down, breathing into the right side of the rib cage. Coming back up. Facing forwards. Lifting that chin up. Tucking the chin in. Feeling that back body opening up. Not creating a weight. Releasing the hands. Coming up. Lifting the chin as the elbows rise. And then lowering the elbows and the chin. Last one. Coming up. Breath in. Breath out. Turning to the sides. To your left. Raising that left elbow, dropping the right, and breathing into the rib cage there. Is there more space there this third time of visiting? Coming back up to upright. Facing forwards. Before taking that right elbow backwards, left elbow forwards. Raising that right elbow, dropping the left, breathing into the right side of the rib cage. Coming back up. Facing forwards. Tilting that head back, lifting the chin. Bringing the chin down. Allowing that space there. Releasing the hands, cupping the chin, raising the elbows up. The shoulders come forwards, the shoulder blades come forwards. Dropping the chin back down, releasing the hands, just letting them settle in your lap. And again, just allow yourselves to be. Soften the gaze or gently close your eyes. And before we come back into standing form, just want you to just sense into that pelvis. Noticing those seat bones. Can you let go with the bottom cheeks and the thighs? Is that tail a little more free flowing, free in its movement? And as you notice that tail, just draw the breath up from the feet, up the legs, past that tail, up the midline to the top of the head. And then as you breathe out, it pours back down again. Breathing into the top of the head. And letting it fall back down. Opening your eyes. Coming back to your pelvis like we were towards the beginning of the class. And I want you to just check in with that tuck and tilt. How does that feel now? So taking a breath in. Moving on the out breath, bringing that pubic bone forwards, coming into a tuck. And then on another out breath, taking that pubic bone through the thighs towards the back of the chair, low back arch increases, tilting that pelvis. A few more times. Tucking. And tilting. Tucking. And tilting. Just coming back to neutral, letting your hands come down. And just see if you can sense into both the tail and the pelvis. Is there a shift there compared to what we had before? Gather your thoughts, see if you can remember them when we come back together. And if you feel able to do so, we're going to just slowly come back into Wu Chi, into standing. So I'm going to just move my chair out of the way. Coming into standing. Nicely settled. Soft in the knees. Finding your placement of your feet that feels right for you. And just allow that pelvis to settle. Hand on the lower dantian. Raise in the center. And then dropping the center. Raising. And dropping. And just find somewhere in between, that place where there is the potential for everything. Releasing the hand, letting go with the tail. Find that placement over your kidney one. Tail towards the heels. Breath in and breath out. Just settle. Are your toes soft or are they hanging on to the floor? Can you invite them to just be with you in connection to the floor, but not grasping? Breath in. Breath out. Breath in. And connect. Really nice. Breath in. Breath out. Come through that midline. Try and keep that space free. The tail free flowing. Breath in. And out. Just 2 more after this one. Just connecting. So drawing the wrists back, plugging in. Is that tail still free or have you gone back into a tuck? I nearly did. Releasing the wrists and shake it out. Letting go of all that rubbish Just let it settle. Well done. Final check-in. Landing. Just those heels if you need to. Tail is soft. Connected. Nice. Breath in, open. And connect. Kind of worth hanging on to this one, it's really quite potent. Breath in, opening. You're just going to sink, drawing the hands in, and then you're going to just fold that chi down, pushing it down that midline, through the tail, down to the floor. Wonderful. Let's step out, give our ankles a little bit of a shake. Oops, sleigh behind us, to the sides of us, and the front. Both ankles if we can.